The role model of the WWE could be back. I don't think the Bayley babies are coming with it. Bayley babies. They're Bayley buddies. Whatever those inflatable wavy tubey arm things waving in the air, are they going to be doing that at the Royal Rumble? Is Bayley coming back to the WWE? You better share this video right now. It's Sportskeeda Wrestling top story of the day.
What's up, guys? This is the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, the face of Impact Wrestling, and you are watching Sportskeeda Wrestling. Like, share, subscribe, do it all, and do it now.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out.
Yes.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Yes. The Watch Out crew is with us. They're all watching. Share the link. Or if you're listening, share the link. Listen out. Doesn't work the same way. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everyone? You just heard Deonna Purrazzo there. She just popped in for a minute. That is a part of one of the very, very cool sit-down interviews we just filmed, right, Jose? With Impact Wrestling. Pretty cool stuff. Also, Impact Wrestling World Champion Moose. We have him in the docket as well. Exciting conversations you had with them.
Yeah, man, it was really cool catching up with both Moose and Deonna Purrazzo yesterday. We had an interesting take on Moose on why he didn't really pick Brock Lesnar over Roman Reigns. So, very interesting take. We're going to be dropping
those guys
that
are
later
in the
this
WWE.
week.
Why would he? Why would he talk about them?
Forbidden Door, man. He's all about it. So interesting take on both Forbidden Doors, on both Deonna Purrazzo and on Moose. So, guys, make sure you are subscribed, because when we drop that, you guys want to go ahead and share that and give it a big old thumbs up.
All right, let's jump right into this lead story here. We're 2 minutes in, and you want to know what's going on with Bayley.
What's going on with Bayley?
Bayley's been on the mix here for quite some time, suffering a very serious knee injury right before WWE got back on the road in 2021. And it was a brutally timed injury because Bayley was a critical player for WWE during the pandemic. Truly came off the screen in front of no fans, was jaw-jacking with everyone, held all the different titles, did a lot of big things on television for WWE, even though there were no fans physically there to be a part of it. She was a real MVP for WWE during the pandemic era. That knee injury, brutal. Now we see cryptic teasings that the role model and all of her outrageousness could be back on television, yelling as Yuri is here with us. Ding, ding dong!
Love it.
Hello.
My favorite star on the WWE roster has been teasing a potential comeback, but this is very cryptic on the way that she did this, because she did this through a tweet, because there's been some teasing from WWE that Kayla Braxton might be making an appearance in the Royal Rumble. So
they've been saying this in the bump. You're right.
So they've been saying this in the bump. So Bayley responded to that, and she says, quote, "If she does, then I am without a doubt making my return just to throw her out." So far, she lands on Michael Cole's dumb face. So I've never seen Kayla Braxton take a bump besides being on the bump.
Yes.
But this will be hilarious. But dude, I'm looking forward to seeing Bayley, man. One of the greatest women's performers in WWE in the recent era, right up there with Charlotte, part of the 4 Horsewomen. Had the longest SmackDown reign in SmackDown's history, in the holding that SmackDown Women's title, 383 days. So I am looking forward to seeing Bayley come back, hopefully ahead of schedule and ready to go just in time for WrestleMania.
They need her. I mean, it would be a fresh thing for her to be added to the mix. There are some different players she could play with, and specifically on Raw. There's a couple of new names. Most of them are heels. I mean, her and Bianca did do some business here and there, but this is a different Bianca. This is a different circumstance. I think it's needed. You need some fresh players in WWE, especially when there's that much television on, that many weeks a year, and WrestleMania is right around the corner, and you want somebody that fans know. It makes complete sense. No, there is no argument I would accept against Bayley not being reinserted back into the WWE flow of things right now.
Absolutely, man. I think she is. She's a great talent and she's hella entertaining. I love their segments during the Ding Dong Hello segments. Those were some of the best stuff that they
I
did during
mean,
the
ding
Thunderdome era.
dong, hello. They were so good. That's what you
Hello,
do. You can be really
very
annoying.
good.
You want to upset your friends and family? Just start doing that all the time. If you exactly, that was a very upsetting laugh. That was immediately. I was like, do I have to quit? Do I have to quit Sportskeeda if he's gonna keep doing that? Here we go. We have this from Chris Aldridge. He says, this is one of our diehards. Chris is with us all the time. Thank you so much, Chris. I see you with all of our different shows. The debrief was on last night. It's on the new Facebook called Sportskeeda All Wrestling fan page. Thank you for telling the other diehards about that. Yes, we have the debrief, which is now a part of it. Another page we're doing here. I know a lot of people watch this on Facebook. Check it out, Sportskeeda All Elite. There's just an All Elite focus page. We still post about All Elite Wrestling on all of our main Facebook group, but doing something a little bit different there. Definitely check it out. It was an eventful episode of All Elite Wrestling. There's some really, really good stuff. There's some confusing stuff, and the debut of Brody King was really neat. NXT was quite eventful this week as well. I did it with Rico Glorioso. You were busy doing all the Impact stuff. Tons of content to get to. Let's jump into story number 2.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about this big story, the Elimination Chamber coming back potentially. Fightful Select today is reporting that WWE is reportedly planning to bringing back the Elimination Chamber, but in Saudi Arabia. Now, last year we did not have an elimination pay-per-view. Looks like they retired it last year, but now it looks like they're talking of bringing the structure overseas to Saudi Arabia. Now, initially they did have plans of bringing the Elimination Chamber for the November pay-per-view, but that never came to fruition. But there's also been some talk of possibly doing one of the WWE TV episodes, either a SmackDown or a Raw, from Saudi Arabia, but nothing has been confirmed. So this is big news because, as we know, they've been putting on these massive shows in Saudi Arabia. This last one that we had in November was a really good show. Everybody, and I haven't heard anybody knock that pay-per-view of how good it was. And if they can continue putting on good shows overseas in Saudi Arabia of that caliber, just putting in the Elimination Chamber, man, that's just a cherry on top. I think that's great.
It'd be cheap to get that thing over there. That's a lot of production.
Absolutely not. It's
a lot of production
alone. The shipping alone is probably got to be worth a few thousand.
The shipping alone, they're gonna get you. That's where they're gonna get you. Get those prices. And other people, I think, are gonna immediately rush the idea of Elimination Chamber, and then you bring up all the different socio-political things that are easy to find about Saudi Arabia, the issues that WWE had socially with dealing there. And Nick Batten saying Saudi Arabia can have the Elimination Chamber. He's not a fan of it. He's not for it. Yeah. I enjoyed the Elimination Chamber. I think it's an underrated gimmick. I think even a not so great Elimination Chamber match is still somewhat compelling in terms of what it looks like on television and how it's shot. Yeah. And it lends itself to WWE's big time production of how, sometimes too many angles to shoot something on. This is something when you actually see it on television, maybe would be better than almost seeing it live.
Yeah, the Elimination Chamber, in my opinion, has just been underutilized these last few years, and it hasn't gotten the respect it needs or it deserves. That structure itself is quite treacherous. The original one, by the way, because they've done a few different versions where now it's a little bit safer to work in the Elimination Chamber as compared to the one that they unveiled 20 years ago, back when Eric Bischoff came up with that concept. But again, this thing, they really should be using it more. There really should be a yearly pay-per-view, and it should be right in the road to WrestleMania, because that we talk at one for Royal Rumble. Whoever wins that can pick. But let's just say the Elimination Chamber could be someone for one of the mid-card ones, right? It could be something like that. But I think they should use it a little bit more. But I'm excited to see this overseas. I'm wondering how this is all going to look on TV in that big, massive crowd in Saudi Arabia. And my thing is, how's the Saudi Arabia crowd going to respond to this? They've never seen anything like this over there at a show.
They've never seen anything, but I mean, it's already been proven. They got some hardcore WWE fans over there. They would respond to something like this. I mean, they weren't lost when a Hell in a Cell match was presented there for the first time in October. It was one of the better matches WWE presented on TV this year with Edge and Rollins. But I've seen some crowds, even here in the States, do the Elimination Chamber, and there's a little bit of a disconnect with it because it is a big structure. From how it's shot, there's kind of a delay response. Fans will respond to it, but you can almost feel them be like, oh, you know, you hear that little bit of a skip. And when you have that in a stadium, what's that going to look like, you know? So there's just a lot of challenges to it. There's a lot of challenges to it. People saying, what about a Punjabi prison match? I've seen it. I actually went to one of these in Chicago. They're pretty cool, but those in an arena don't look that great live. Like they're you can see the ring, but it's not like the obstruction isn't there. It glares off the lights. Even though Batista did the cool thing of, you know, spearing someone off the top of it, he leapt from one side of the cage to the other, which was pretty impressive. Here we go, jumping into the questions and different comments that people have here.
We got a good one here by Jackson Rick on YouTube watching us. He's saying, so Elimination Chamber no longer a pay-per-view. It's going to be a gimmick like they did with SummerSlam, like Money in the Bank with WrestleMania. Kevin Jose, what do you think? It
kind of already is. It was the biggest thing between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania for like what, 10 years? You know, I mean, the better part of 10 years. So I mean, when they establish something with it, it's fine. I understand the idea of there has to be a reason for a Hell in a Cell. Like, we got to be in an angry feud to put ourselves, like with Edge and Rollins, that made sense. I've heard some people say that you need some storyline, build up an emotion to do this. With the Chamber, I'm okay with, because it's like what? It's like 8 different performers. It almost lends itself to, we get to the Rumble.
I think it's 6. 6.
We get to Survivor Series. Here's when we have the annual Elimination Chamber. Here's when we have the King of the Ring. So because there's multiple performers, I understand that. Then it lends itself to a little bit more competition. You can do multiple storylines inside of it. That's okay. I don't mind that logic.
I completely agree with you. Jumping into some more of your comments here. Any truth, because Jericho's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Well, here's the thing, guys. You know, we've reported a few days ago, WrestleVotes had put out a tweet that WWE is considering a male competitor from the Forbidden Door, someone from AEW. We don't know exactly who that is. I put the name out there for Chris Jericho. That caught like wildfire. What do you think?
I mean, we're going to be asked about this all month. Obviously, WWE turned some real heads in terms of the hardcore audience with Mickie James. Mickie James, the Bella Twins, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Summer Rae, and maybe even more are all part of the women's match. And this was announced this past Friday. I don't know if they're going to announce any more of those, you know, returning superstars for the men's match. They do have some spots open. And it was surprising, you know, Bella Twins are huge stars, but people were talking more about Mickie James, because she's the Impact Women's Champion. She's the Impact Knockouts Champion. And why is someone who signed with Impact, you released in the last year, in this match? And, you know, it's kind of shocking. It opens up a lot of possibilities, follows up a bunch of different reports. I do think the WrestleVotes report is accurate. We're going to see some other people that make you go like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was happening. Now, are they going to be revealed to us before the Rumble?
I don't know.
Some of them I think have to be saved for the Rumble. I do think WWE kind of wants to remind people they can keep you on your toes with the Rumble as they do every year. And now this new policy of, hey, we don't mind if talent isn't, you know, signed to our company is that's a complete reversal of WWE's past look at things, where they've been more insulated into, we're only going to pull from our ranks probably since like the late 90s. They've done stuff with the Rumble before where they've used talent before. They did this with like AAA in like 1997, and they've had different talent, you know, and short-term deals come in for it. Obviously for the Rumble, they have old names come back and just work the Rumble match and not do anything else. They're just there for the pop, and which is always fun. The fans enjoy that too. Does this mean a storyline comes out of it? Who knows? I mean, they're going to see what that reaction is like, too. You know, Rey Mysterio came back and worked the Rumble one year when he wasn't under a long-term deal and got a massive reaction. And WWE was already trying to get him back. But then they felt like, oh, no, we really got to get him back. We really got to get him get him back. So it'll be interesting. I mean, and Jericho is one of those huge names that could come over, and I do think WWE will be comfortable with him doing it there, even though he's the All Elite Wrestling guy. He's still under contract with them. I think he's somebody he would trust. You know, you want to have somebody you
I
know.
think Jericho makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And Jericho's not going to go out there and disrespect that company in that way. You know, he's just not going to do it. He's not assuming he's going to go out there and be like, no, I'm going to go get them in trouble and moon the crowd and then run out of the ring. You know, I just don't think there's many wrestlers that would do that or something like that. But you do want to know, you're going to have somebody who's going to respect what it is. Jericho would make complete sense. I'm of the thought I would love to see someone from New Japan. I would love to see some. I know there's more people would know Jericho.
You want to see Okada in there, don't you? You want to see Okada. You're biased. You just want to see Okada up in there. I mean, I can't blame you, dude.
Baby. Yeah, I agree with you. But Jericho would be a huge name. John Moxley would be wild. I don't think that's going to happen. But it'll be pretty cool. Yesterday we did an episode looking at Corey Graves. If Corey Graves is clear to wrestle, is he going to show up in the Royal Rumble? And the math kind of adds up there. You get people stoking the flame of that. Some of his wrestling buddies.
Booker T, not a fan of Corey Graves getting back in the ring. I don't know if you saw that report or if you heard that yesterday. He was talking on his podcast, on Hall of Fame podcast, that he's concerned that if he gets in the ring, like how is his body going to react to it? You know, he's been on commentary for such a long time, doing such a great job, and he fears that the commentary table is going to suffer massively if he leaves that post and returns in ring. And who's not to say if he returns in ring that he gets released?
CRC, we'll get to the super chat here from Roland in a minute. Thank you so much there, Roland. The Rainmaker in the Rumble would be awesome. Yeah, some people agree with me here. And Alex Bradford saying, if Jericho came out to Judas, I would lose my mind. Yeah, would he come out to Judas? That'd be a different thing here. People would lose. It's been so much more the thing he's been doing the past few years. But I do think Break the Walls Down would be cool. Cut to Judas, combine both.
Let's get to the super chat.
With a very, very gracious super chat. Thank you so much there, Roland.
Thank you so much, Roland.
Did you guys like Seth Rollins' promo? He said it will be the Visionary versus the Tribal Chief on the marquee. Brother versus brother. Unsure Seth's heel character would allow him to say brother versus brother. What are you alluding there? Why would his character allow that? Is he a babyface now? I don't think this means he's a babyface. He's still Seth Rollins. Feels like I don't want to say it's a one-off.
Correction, Kevin. He is Seth freaking Rollins. That's
True.
what the bio says on the WWE Network. And
it's changed to Seth freaking Rollins.
It's freaking. It's not just Seth. It's Seth freaking
Rollins. I'm a little odd out of this match here with Roman, and this is the only time I've felt this, and I know it feels weird to say it. They've done this before. Rollins still feels like a heel. I don't think there's anything about him that gives me the illusion that he's trying to get the audience behind to get the title off Roman Reigns. He's had it for more than 500 days, and is, as I've said,
by the way, everyone watching right now, including us, we all have to acknowledge our tribal chief for his 500th day as Universal Champion.
I don't.
Thank you.
I refuse at this point to acknowledge him. I refuse it.
Blasphemy. You are blasphemous, Kevin.
I will not reference that.
How dare you blaspheme against the head of the table, our tribal chief? Today is the day to acknowledge him.
I will not acknowledge his lined up goatee. I will not acknowledge his swole chest. I will not acknowledge his hair, which has never been seen on television being anything less than fresh out of the pool wet. All right? I will not do it. I refuse. I say good day. I say good day, sir.
I say good day, sir.
I say good day.
Interesting take here, because I have this whole scenario in my head that may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to spit it out anyways, because I think it's actually quite possible. With Brock Lesnar being a free agent, moving back and forth from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown, I think that leaves the possibility for titles to switch brands again. So I think that it is highly possible that Roman may end up losing that title to Seth Rollins, Seth Rollins ends up taking the title to Monday Night Raw because he got drafted to Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar, still being the WWE champion, beats Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, setting up a WWE title match with Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 38 in the main event for SmackDown. So I think that might be the scenario where we see things going.
I agree, but I just think there has to be something a little bit more long-term finality at WrestleMania. So that's what makes me think we're getting Brock and Roman there at Mania. I still think that's a distinct possibility. And Rollins was supposed to have something big at WrestleMania, but that got changed with, Roman being pulled from day one and all these different things. Plans change, pal, right? And that's absolutely true here. I'm being told I have to acknowledge him. No, I will not acknowledge him. I will reference him as the most popular wrestler in professional wrestling and maybe one of the best, but I will not
Supersonic
acknowledge
X.
him. I will not. I refuse.
We'll never acknowledge.
I refuse to acknowledge him. I will not reference wrestler known by initials RR. I refuse.
Alex Radford on YouTube. What, Jose? Mind blown.
Well, we have some Impact news. Obviously, you have those big Impact interviews that are dropping here this week. And this is compelling. They had Hard to Kill, which was a very well-received pay-per-view. And
very good pay-per-view.
The whole Forbidden Door thing has been open with Impact for quite some time. They've been working with New Japan Pro Wrestling for many, many years. New Japan Pro Wrestling back on Access Television, the television home of Impact Wrestling, and will air immediately after. It's a little bit more of a synergy, kind of remind people that New Japan is a part of the mix here. And that Best of TV show will air right after Impact starting in March. So how do you get them involved? Well, the active week-to-week storylines of Impact are now being influenced by Ring of Honor talent that is on the show in a temporary way. They invaded. People love invasions, right? They invaded Hard to Kill. And now you continue this weaving web of different wrestling universes on top of each other with the Bullet Club now having a presence yet again on Impact Wrestling.
You're absolutely right, Kevin. The Bullet Club is heading to the most recent tapings of Impact Wrestling down in Fort Lauderdale, which are going to be January 21st and 22nd. And they're not only Tanga and Tama Tonga are going to be heading over there, but they're going to be joining Jay White representing the Bullet Club heavyweights. And it's going to be for a Bullet Club invasion in the company. So this is going to be very interesting. God, the Gorillas of Destiny, who are the tag team of Tanga Loa and Tama Tonga, they are the current tag team champions. So those guys have been multiple IWGP heavyweight tag team champions many times, and setting a record about 7 times. So those guys are no joke. So I think this is going to be very compelling. Impact Wrestling is definitely on the up right now, with Moose having a very dominant chance. Mickey James putting a hell of a main event this past Saturday at Hard to Kill. And now with the most recent news that we got just before we went live, William Regal. Impact Wrestling has offered William Regal a post within the company. What that position is, I don't know yet. But if William Regal does make his way to Impact Wrestling, I think this will definitely change the game in 2022.
Well, Sunshine, you better pay attention here. I mean, I think Regal should be a part of any major wrestling promotion right now. If WWE doesn't want to employ his mind, his foresight into talent scouting, into talent development, into production, all these different things that he's been doing for WWE since fading out as a performer just under 10 years ago. He's become one of the most creatively influential guys in the last 10 years in professional wrestling. And I say that with no overstating what he did. Think of all the different people he helped recruit. Think of all the different people he scouted. Think of all the different people he got ready for television as developed independent talent and made worldwide televised wrestling superstars. I mean, he's a huge part of WWE's growth in the last 10 years. I understand that the backing away from is just, let's get rid of the Triple H element. I don't know if I agree with it. I get it's collateral damage, but it sounds awful to say that. If Impact gets him, that would be a tremendous thing for them. A tremendous thing for them.
Let's just put this in a scenario, in a perfect world, right? That we live in, or in a multiverse. Let's just say for A or B reason, Triple H, Paul Levesque walks away from WWE and goes to Impact Wrestling to join William Regal. What does that do to Impact Wrestling? That would definitely put him as the second or third top wrestling company. Just with those two minds alone in Impact Wrestling,
hypothetical.
That blows my mind just thinking about that.
Hypothetical. I just don't see Triple H leaving.
I know it's a hypothetical, Kevin, but you know what, dude? It's the forbidden door. We're living in 2022. Anything's possible. We're about to have AEW people show up at the Royal Rumble. We have the Impact Knockouts champion showing up at the Royal Rumble. Anything can happen literally now in 2022.
True, and WWE's doing some crazy stuff now. They're playing with others, which they haven't done in a while here. It is a wild time here. Hit those like buttons, guys. Hit those like buttons.
They got you as a surprise entrant, bro. You got something you want to tell me?
Shut up, dude. No, come on. Vitalis is saying that Kevin is a surprise entrant in the world. You're not supposed to tell anybody, bro. You're supposed to protect the business. PTB.
Listen,
all right?
Lewis is picking us. Lewis Mestres
both
is picking us for the final two head to head.
We're gonna get into one singlet together, all right, and we're gonna wrestle together. We're gonna get one giant singlet. You have to pin all. Did you get all four shoulders?
I don't think the people want to see two grown ass bald bearded men in a singlet together in one. No, Kevin. What are you trying to do to our viewers?
No one can pin both of us at the same time. They have to get all four shoulders to the mat.
All right.
Other people say with different crazy ideas here. Our very own Jeremy Benn, who couldn't be with us live today, says Kevin is going to show up and take out his doppelganger, Sam Roberts. Don't do it.
Please do it. Please. Kevin, can you do that?
The no good Sam Roberts.
Sam Roberts.
Oh, yes. So fun stuff here. The Rumble is exciting. I'm going to be at the Rumble. I'm looking forward to it. You ever been to a Royal Rumble live, Jose?
Never. So the last time there was a Royal Rumble near me was back in 2016 when AJ Styles made his debut here in Orlando, and I couldn't go to that show. I wanted to go. That was actually my season premiere for Weekends of Wrestling on 2016. So immediately after that pay-per-view, we recorded our very first show. But yeah, they were here in Orlando, and I've never been to a Rumble. Always wanted to go to one.
I'm going to be going. It'll be fun. This will be the second one I've been to. And oddly, the last one I went to was also in St. Louis about 10 years ago. It was won by Sheamus. That was Mick Foley's last in-ring match, technically, which is quite eventful. They had some really, really cool matches on the show as well. I enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to this. It'll be fun. Rumble is always fun. This will be the first Rumble really in front of fans, too. It's worth noting. There's going to be a big crowd here. Here we go.
People love the idea, Kevin. People love the idea.
Here we go.
M
Major says, Vince. Who's this Vince? Whoever this Vince promoter is, he would love a 2-in-1 singlet. It's such good shit. Yeah, definitely. And other people saying that Sam Roberts is copying me. No, it's just genetics. You lose your hair, so you just kind of embrace it and try and make it look as good as you can. For sure. Did you guys enjoy the show? How come you haven't hit the like button yet? Do you know someone else is going to enjoy the show? How come you haven't shared the link yet?
Do it now.
If you're listening to us on a podcast feed and you've been listening for this long, give us a 5-star review. Just give us a 5-star review. Really, really helps us out. Thank you to the listeners in India. Thank you, listeners in Great Britain, Canada, and across the world, in the Philippines as well, and across America who've been listening to us on Apple, putting us on the wrestling charts in all of those different countries. Thank you so much. Of course, we have Vince Russo covering Monday Night Raw every single Monday on our video and podcast channel. We also have Dutch Mantel after SmackDown and Rampage. Of course, we have the debrief covering AEW and NXT on Wednesday nights. And then also on top of those are our night shows. 5 days a week, we have the top story. 5 days a week, we have the top story here, right around 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. We do stream those live if you're watching on demand. Thank you so much. Appreciate that as well. And we're getting some reports of something here. I do want to give me a second here before we sign off because we can just do it while we're live, right? We've heard more and more people potentially showing up at the Royal Rumble. And we're hearing some more names like Melina and Cameron. Could we see a Funkadactyls reunion at the Royal Rumble? What do you think of that?
You gotta have Brodus Clay if you're gonna have a Funkadactyls reunion, bro. You can't bring the Funkadactyls if you're not gonna bring Brodus Clay. And Brodus Clay ain't coming to WWE anytime soon because ain't he doing something with Impact? Isn't he doing something right now?
Yeah, but hey, I don't think
he's doing something with NWA. I guess that doesn't matter, right?
He's with the NWA. I don't think that's stopping anyone from coming over right now.
And
I don't
he does
think
all
that's
those
stopping
gigs
anyone.
on Fox News too. So
hey, my thing is, if you have Mickey James out there, why not take the whole household? Down to St. Louis.
Bring the NWA heavyweight champion.
Yeah, if the National Treasure showed up, I think that'd be pretty cool as well. I wonder if any of these people jumping over would be shocking in the sense, but they'd be shocking, but they wouldn't be huge names. So that'd be worth it too. You want names that people remember in the.
Oh, he's a TV champ. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me, Jeremy. TV champ. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, he's a TV champ. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Getting a little bit more news before we sign off. We will be back on Friday for a Freestyle Friday edition with even more of your questions on screen. We'll have those interviews up with Moose and Deonna Purrazzo. Also, our Royal Rumble Tiers special will be running this weekend. We're working on that. That'll be us saying, these are the Royal Rumbles you need to watch. These down here, the Royal Rumbles you can avoid. In terms of what you want to stream before you get to the Royal Rumble. That'll be this weekend. And then coming up on the 22nd, we'll have our big Royal Rumble trivia special. So 2 big things before we even get to the Rumble and the weeks ahead here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Kev Kellam. That's at Kev Kellam on Twitter. Kev Kellam 6 on the Instagram. I'm not super active on the IG. I guess I should be though, all right? You're big on the IG, aren't you, Jose? Jose _ G.
I am, man. You guys,
you're much more.
You guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm barely on Twitter, but I'm always on Instagram. So go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. Hit that like button. Also, check out my show, Recons of Wrestling. We're still on hiatus. We'll be back Royal Rumble weekend. So make sure you give us a like, share, and a subscribe, and smash that notification bell.
Also, if you know anyone in the US, send them over my way. The link is up on my Twitter. I will be at the Miller Beach Performing Arts Theater this Friday night. I'll be there. And then on the 22nd, I'll be opening up for Marilyn Rice Cub. You've seen her on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That'll be going down in Valparaiso, Indiana on the 22nd. Links are up to get tickets on my website as well. KevinKellam.com. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We will be back tomorrow with even more. And of course, for everything wrestling, get the Sportskeeda app. You'll be in tune. It's one click and it's all right there. Remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing, whether or not you want to acknowledge that guy with the wet hair. I'm not going to.
You must acknowledge him.
I will not do it. But what I will do is what, Jose?
You shall enjoy wrestling and acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Watch out.